Okay, number 1 is Shayla. My father passed away 6 years ago, and ever since my baby girl was born, she looks up and smiles. As of lately, she offers food to the ceiling and says, "Papa, here." Also at bedtime, it seems that she talks to him and says goodbye. She looks right past me. Woo! Chills on that one. That is crazy. That's so cool though. I've heard that before about babies seeing spirits or seeing past lives. You know, it's kind of a cool thing. It's kind of, they say that about like pets and babies because you know, they can't talk yet. So it's kind of in that middle of before they can talk and maybe forget. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, number 2, Theresa. I swear my daughter visited me in my dreams before she was earthside. She would show me herself in each stage of my pregnancy, which was weird as an afterthought. But in my dream, it felt completely normal. I've heard of this a lot too, where people have dreams of their children before they are born. They not always see their face, but sometimes do, or see their hair. I've actually heard a lot of friends tell me this. But I've also heard that you can dream, and if you see like if you are a woman and you see a younger girl, it could also represent you when you were a child. And so if you are pregnant, you could be thinking about how you were as a child and kind of growing up too. So kind of some cool connections there. Okay, number 3, Celeste. My son and cat always acts like there's someone else in the back room. See what I mean about pets? I used to catch my son in there just laughing and clapping. He would be looking at something that wasn't there. My cat always runs into the room specifically like someone is calling him to do so. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. My son's toys have turned on, stuff has flown off the hangers, and the light in his bedroom has turned off by itself. Okay, that is creepy. I don't know how I would react to that. The weirdest one was when his white noise machine turned on when it was out of batteries. When it was out of batteries. How? Are there backup batteries? Like, I love hearing these stories, but it's so creepy. It's cool, but wow. I would like look into your house and see, did someone live there before you? Or did you have a family member that passed away before your son was born or something, and see if there's more to this story. Because I've heard of stories like that too, where it's like family or if it's like a previous person living in that house. Number 4, Katie. My husband's father died a few years ago, and my grandfather, who basically raised me, died in January. One day, my mom and grandma were watching our daughter, who was asleep in her bouncer. She was totally knocked out and not moving. My grandma said that all of a sudden, they both got colds out of nowhere. They looked over at my daughter, who was still asleep in her bouncer, but noticed she was bouncing ever so slightly. Ooh, I felt that one. I got full-on chills. What did you do? Oh my gosh. Or what did they do? I mean, I don't know if everyone's spiritual out there, but it sounds like they came out when they were just bouncing their granddaughter. Whew, that was a good one. Okay, number 6, Janelle. My stepdaughter, 4 at the time, said I had a baby in my tummy 2 weeks before I found out I was pregnant. Oh, that's so sweet. I've heard of stories like this too, where kids are so in tune to pregnancy. I've heard animals are really in tune to pregnancy, like they might start acting different around you. That's really sweet. That's really sweet. I like that. Number 7, Heather. This was about 10 years ago. My daughter was about 3 years old. One day she was looking out the window of our living room and kept saying, "Uncle Justin." I was kind of ignoring her, but she kept going on, so I finally went to the window and looked. Nothing out there. No vehicles, no people. She kept insisting Uncle Justin was out there, and she even pointed to a spot by a tree near the driveway and said his truck was there, but it wasn't. About an hour later, I get a call from her dad that Uncle Justin passed away. I'm sorry, what? He was battling cystic fibrosis and pneumonia and didn't win. I believe he came to say goodbye. Oh my gosh, because how would a 3-year-old see this before anyone even knew? Wow, I don't even have the words. I have chills, I have tears in my eyes. I totally believe that stuff. I mean, she had no way of knowing, and especially, and even like someone at 3, a little girl at 3 is not gonna know like, oh, he's sick. So like they're not gonna understand all of that either. So the fact that she was pointing and saying his name, he had to be visiting her. That's, oh, I hope that like kind of helped you guys a little bit with getting closure, knowing like he, you know, made his way to say goodbye, and hopefully gave you guys some peace. Number 8, Aubrey. My son was born on my deceased grandfather's birthday. I've always felt that it wasn't a coincidence and that my grandfather is always watching over him. A couple weeks ago, I was in my son's room changing him and got an overwhelming feeling that someone else was in the room. So I turned thinking it was my husband, and no one was there. My son was smiling and babbling and focused on something behind me. I never got the sense of being scared, but more of a feeling of calmness and peace. I'd like to think it was my grandfather saying hello. Oh my gosh. I think it all is about how you feel in those moments. Because, you know, they say like there's like the bad spirits, or if you get like a bad feeling, it could be something not right. But the feeling, the thought that you had a feeling come over you, but you felt safe and you felt at peace, and your baby was smiling and kind of having baby talk with this thing who is more likely than not your grandfather. That is such a cool story. I want to like keep regularly doing these. It's just such a cool thing to hear, and I hear it happens a lot with like I said, babies and pets. They see different things, and I love it. I love hearing these. So thank you guys for submitting your stories. As a reminder, we post different questions every Friday to our social media to get your take on motherhood. So we have a lot of fun reading these. All right, guys, that's all for this week, and I will see you next week.